Okay, so this is not my first time in the new Sequoia. I spent a week with the TRD Pro version in that awesome solar octane paint. So it's been pretty fun to revisit the Sequoia. I'll keep this as brief as I can, but let's just get some of the obvious things out of the way. The best thing about this car is the engine. And I've said this about other vehicles like the Tundra that has the TRD Pro Tundra that has the same hybrid motor. I said it when I reviewed the first Sequoia TRD Pro with this obviously same motor because they're all hybrid, the hybridized version of this twin turbo V6. And the power's awesome. It's so good. And it sounds pretty cool. I'll admit that this time around, the sound has kind of started to wear on me a little. It kind of gets old. It's really gruff and rumbly, which, you know, is cool, but it does seem kind of loud sometimes. So this engine is just amazing though. I mean, woo, there's good torque. There's good torque, really good torque there. It's between the hybrid system and those twin turbos, like you've got it. You've got the power when you need it. At the same time, I'm a little bugged by the EPA ratings and estimations from fuel economy. And this was the same thing that I experienced on the Tundras that I've reviewed and the previous Sequoia. The city rating is 19, the highway is 22 with a combined estimated rating of 20 miles per gallon. Guys, you're just not gonna get that. Like, I've driven this 272 miles in the last week. And that's a pretty good combined driving of, I would say about half has been highway, half has been around town. And so theoretically I should be getting 20 miles per gallon. I've been getting 15.7. I think the best I saw on some longer commutes to work on the freeway was just about 20. I never got the 22 that they're estimating here. So do not think that for a second that because this is a hybrid that you're gonna get better fuel economy. In fact, this gets maybe not that much better than the old 5.7 liter V8. My buddy has, you know, I've got a couple buddies actually with the 5.7 liter Tundra, which they love. You know, they're getting just about 15 miles per gallon in their trucks. So it kind of bothers me that this is advertised. It's like hybrid, and I don't think they've ever really pushed it as like, this is about fuel economy. I don't know that's necessarily what they're going after. I don't think it is at all. Even Toyota's, I think, said that, but the perception, I think, in the public's mind is such that it's like, you know, this is all about, you know, it's a hybrid. It's going to get better fuel economy than the old V8. You got two turbos, you got a big battery, pushing power, which is cool, and like, you're just, 15.7, so I'll just leave it at that. So some other things about this that maybe you're not totally aware of. First, I'll just mention this is not a standard feature, but unless you're towing all the time, do not buy these tow mirrors. They are huge, and they are seriously a problem to try to see around. Like, don't order them, don't even think about it unless you're towing very frequently. Otherwise, you're going to be super annoyed because they're massive. You have to look all the way around both sides, and in the time it takes you to look around both sides of the mirrors, someone else has already come in your way and you got to wait and look again. And they've been seriously enormously frustrating, so don't buy the tow mirrors. The next thing I'll say too about this is that with the TRD off-road package, this comes with Bilstein shocks, which I normally am like, I'm a Bilstein fan. I think that for the most part, you know, they do a pretty good job. And I've had Bilsteins in some of my vehicles and I've liked them. This thing rides rough though. Like it really does. It's pretty choppy, especially I find higher speeds on the freeway. Maybe it's the combination of the 20-inch wheel, I don't know, but it does ride surprisingly rough. I mean, this thing weighs a lot. This is a big vehicle. I was just driving my sister-in-law's brand new, glorious high country Suburban, which, by the way, if you're looking for a family hauler, that's gonna fit your kids way better than this will, and your cargo. But anyway, that with its Magna Ride suspension, like versus this, it was just like no comparison. This is, I think if you're gonna want to build this into like an overlanding rig, That's way cool, you know, although you're going to be very compromised on cargo space, which I'll discuss in just a minute. But it kind of just rides, it just kind of rides rough, like surprisingly. And there's just a lot of weight here, and I don't quite know if the suspension knows what to do with it. Other little things just to be aware of. The interior quality is okay. This is the Platinum, so you get actual real leather seats, and I actually think I prefer the Softex seats that you can find in most of the other trims. Like, for example, the TRD Pro trim that we reviewed like last year had those cool camo Softex seats. I think the Softex actually holds up better. You know, this press car has about 12,000 miles, so it's getting up there in miles for a press car. But already the leather is pretty worn. It's very creased. And the seats are, the padding is pretty smashed already. And I know press cars are, you know, they're kind of beat on by certain journalists, but still, these seats, I was like kind of surprised at how flat and not supportive they felt, especially as compared to even the Sequoia we tested again last year, of the Softex seats. And the Softex, I think, it'll hold up longer too, and it's just a little bit easier to clean, especially if you have, you know, kids. So I would actually stray from the actual leather and just get the Softex seats in one of the other trims. As far as the other materials go, though, they're okay. You know, the buttons are all right. They're a little confusing, these toggle switches. The screen's obviously amazing, although my Apple CarPlay did cut out a few times, several times. There is some rattles in here. You know, the center console, there's a lot of kind of flimsy plastic that, it's not bad, but like you can just kind of feel where they're trying to like save some costs. And you know, for this being $83,000, you know, it's okay. I've definitely seen better, but it's all right. You know, I don't know if the Platinum trim would be the one that I would buy. I'd honestly probably would be more inclined to just get the TRD Pro. I think it looks a little cooler. This does have like the skid plates with the TRD off-road package and stuff like that, but it does have the really silly like chin spoiler, which is, you know, for aerodynamics or fuel economy, which I don't know how much it's really helping, 15.7, but it's kind of surprising. Like, I haven't been in a car in a while where I've scraped on like driveways and stuff multiple times on the front end of this because of that chin spoiler. So anyway, if I were buying this, I would definitely like just remove that chin spoiler because it kind of looks silly and it kind of just like scrapes, and I don't think it's helping the fuel economy much at all. So a couple other things too about the Sequoia just to be mindful of is, you know, second row space is really good. The legroom is great. The seats are good and accommodating. They're like just basically front captain's chairs, but in the second row. Where the deal breaker for me, like honestly, here it is. The deal breaker for me with the new Sequoia is third row space and cargo space. So the third row is, space-wise, it's okay. Like, I'm 5'9", and me sitting behind the seats where they are, which they're fixed, by the way. You can't slide the second row, so they're fixed. And the third row is maybe not the easiest to get into. You have to like either climb through the center, but there's also like this little, you know, center console that you're going to be stepping on. So you got to flip the seat all the way forward and kind of climb back there. But once you're back there, I have enough knee room, but me at 5'9", I have no headroom. My head, and I don't have like a huge torso. My legs are longer for sure, but even me, my head is touching the ceiling, the roof, and if you're any taller than that, you know, you're going to be very uncomfortable. And then the big problem is if you're using that third row at all, you're going to have like no cargo space. There's none in this car. You know, you can use the shelf, which they give you, which gives you a little bit more. You know, you can put some groceries underneath there when the shelf is in that position. You can put some groceries on top. So it's not like totally dead, you know, space, but it's pretty rough, honestly. And then if you are not using the third row, you can fold those seats down, but they don't fold flat because that's the batteries underneath that floor. And so you still use the shelf to level it out. And then you can like put your stuff on top of there, but the cargo space even then is significantly reduced because of how high up that goes. And so anyway, the cargo space is just not, it's not great. Like, so what I'm trying to get to is, like, if you're looking at a family hauler, this is truly just a 4-seater. And this is a huge vehicle to be just a 4-seater, okay? Like, our Kia Telluride, even with the third row up, has more space, which is a significantly smaller vehicle than this, has more cargo space than this does. Like, again, going back to the Suburban comparison, or even a Tahoe, but even the Suburban's even better because it's bigger, it's longer. This feels much bigger to drive than even like that Suburban does. And it just feels wider, especially it's exacerbated by these insane tow mirrors. It's just big. And like, I was talking to a guy whose parents bought one of these, and he's like, I don't know why they bought it, because there's just no, like, it's a huge vehicle, but there's like not really any space in here. Again, 4 people, even 4 adults, great. Any more than that though, it kind of starts to fall apart in the passenger space department, and also the cargo space department of things. Anyway, those are just some of my thoughts about the Sequoia. I think it's a very, I think it looks cool. I think it's like, it's good to drive. It's good to sit here. The steering wheel feels good. The seating position is good. The power is so awesome. I love it. I love the grumble that it makes, whether it's real or not. I don't really care. At the end of the day, I think the new Sequoia is a very like specific choice in the family hauling segment. Like, if you want something you can take the family off-road in, I guess it would work. It would work, but again, you're dealing with the issue of, you're gonna have to use a roof rack or a trailer or something for your cargo if you're taking 4 kids along, or 4 adults, or even 3. I don't exactly know who buys it. I'm just being real. Like, this, it's solid. Like, it feels good, but some of the things have just left me kind of questioning, like, why would I buy this over something like a Suburban? Even like a fully loaded Suburban. But anyway, let me know your thoughts about the Sequoia, especially if you bought one. Help us see why, and like what your experience has been like, owning one, because it is definitely a very specific and unique choice when it comes to, family haulers. And anyway, I'd love to hear more of your thoughts. So there you go. There's the new Sequoia Platinum with the TRD off-road package. I do appreciate my time with this car, so thank you to Toyota. You can find my written review on ksl.com, and would love to continue the discussion in the comments about who's buying these, and what have you loved about it, and maybe what have you found to be a struggle. So, all right, we'll talk to you later. See ya.